Here is an introduction to video astronomy. First, you'll need a CCTV camera, which is low light. This is an example of one of them. It's a Mintron camera, and it has an adapter thread there, which you need to buy an adapter to go into to connect it up to your telescope. On the back of it here, you need to put an RCA adapter here, B and C, to RCA phono female adapter, which is this part here. I'll give you all the part names on the screen. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is just connect this up there into the back of that. That's where your video cable can go in. This one's also got an SVHS cable adapter, so you could also connect SVHS to it. So that's why I've used an adapter for that as well. It runs on 12 volts power, and you can see here this is the 12 volts power input, and the pin is positive, and you need to get a power supply. I've got a power supply here, and this one here is 12 volts 2 amps pin positive. So if you buy a camera, you need to see if you can get a camera which has got this particular type of pin here. Sometimes it'll have two screws at the top there, in which case you have to buy one of these adapters, and you'd have to cut the cable in two and split the cables to positive and negative. So but I've not done that because I haven't seen anywhere where you could buy a two-pronged end to these video adapters. But that's the power supply to the video. Once your power supply is on, you should see a green light go on this particular camera. Other cameras will have LED lights to go on, and you're ready to connect up your video cables to the CCD camera. So always look for a camera that has low lux. So it has a special CCD chip here which works at 0.01 lux. Some of them can work at 0.001 lux, but you need a low light camera. There are plenty of them on the market, which are commercial ones you can look at. So if you look at CCD cameras, you don't want a camera that has LED lights on it. You want one which has a special chip, which is like a Sony chip or an FVideo chip, which is basically very low light, and they work in astronomy. You need to have a extension cable here. This one's got 4 plugs in it. You need one with at least 2 plugs in, because one's need to go into a television with a Scart lead, and one's needed to go to the camera. So you'll need that to go out to your telescope wherever it is. It has to be close enough to a power point. So this one here is 10 meters long, but that's what you need to have. At least two plugs in on your extension cable. The next thing you'll need is a Scart to 3 RCA's adapter, which is this fits into the Scart connector at the back of your television, and it's got these things here. One says video on it. You can use that, or you can use one next to it, which I use, which is SVideo, because you'll need an SVideo cable for that connector with an adapter. I use an adapter here, which is an SVideo adapter here, to connect my camera to this Scart lead input, and it says input output on this side here, and you need it to have it in input. This is also another part which you'll need, which is a telescope adapter, and it's a metal 1.25 inch C-mount video camera adapter. A metal 1.25 inch C-mount video camera adapter. It's just the black bit which is here. I've added a couple of extra tubes here myself. That's only because I wanted to have a bit of an extension on my telescope. But this part here is what you can buy as a C-mount video camera adapter. That fits at the front of the video camera, and just be this one black barrel here at the front of it here, and it screws into the video camera here like so. Okay, so if you imagine it's just that one part there, this screws in here, and that will then fit into your eyepiece of your telescope. Okay, I've only done this because I've added an extension here with a couple of extra bits of tubing. Okay, you can also buy SVideo cable, which has got 2 male ends on that, as you can see, and then that will then fit into the back of this particular CCD camera. You can, as I told you, there's an SVideo for input there. If it doesn't have one, then instead of using these, you can use an ordinary video cable, which is this one here, which is basically a PAL video cable here, which is like that. Okay, I've bought both of them because I use an adapter which I've purchased here. This is an adapter that converts between SVideo here and PAL video at the back here, which you can use. That means I can use this on an adapter and fit it as an extension on my video cable. Your video cable here probably needs to be longer than this. You probably need to get one which is at least 6 foot long, maybe longer, because that's what's going to go up to your telescope and connect up to the camera, and then connect to the Scart lead at the back of your TV camera, of your TV, which is your monitor. If you want to plug the video into this RCA phono plug, you can, instead of using the SVideo. And if I show you here, you can see that it's plugged in using a longer cable, which might be more useful for using outside besides the SVideo cable, and it's been plugged into this socket on your Scart lead instead of plugging into the SVideo. And it still works on the television. As you can see, I can plug the camera here into this phono output here, and I've got no adapters on it, and on the screen you can see I can still bring up my menu here and adjust the title and the sense up there. I can adjust the sense up and adjust that. At the moment there's plenty of light coming in, so the sense up doesn't need to be working on this at all, but in low light the sense up does work. Check whether or not your camera's working. It's also wise to buy a cheap lens for it. Here, this is just basically a camera lens, 6mm camera lens, but you can buy them of all types. You can even buy ones that have telephoto and wide on them, and that means you could use this camera just as it is with a lens on the front of it for nighttime astro video pictures. And this just fits and screws on the front of the camera, as you can see here, and the focus is by twisting the tube here, and some of them have a telescopic wide view and telephoto view, which you can slide on a adapter stick on that. This focus here will be done by twisting this tube here, so I can test whether this camera works indoors before I try it outdoors. My SVideo adapter to my Scart input here, and you'll see that it's got prongs, and then it's got a prong on it there, and a number of different prongs, and you've got to do it so that it connects up snugly where it should do. You have to push it in like that. That's connected up now to the back of my Scart connector, which can go to the back of my television. My adapter here, which is an SVideo to RCA video adapter here, and I plug it in, and I make sure that it's snug like that. So that means I can now use my extension cable, which is normal RCA video cable here. It can go one end to here, and one end can then go into the camera at the back of this by this BNC connector here, goes into there, so I can connect it to there, or I could just, if I wanted to, connect to the SVideo just to there if I wanted to, but I've used an adapter so I can plug into this part of my CCD camera there, as you can see. An ordinary TV that has a Scart plug at the back of it, and put the channel on AV channel. You can see this is the channel down, plus or minuses, so I've put it on AV channel, as you can see. Okay. Next, you need to plug your Scart adapter into your Scart lead connector at the back of the television. You can see that there's like a crimp there, and it fits in, and it needs to fit in very snug. So put that in snug. So that's connected now. You've got your video camera connected here. You'll be able to see on the screen that you've got a picture, and I focused that by twisting. You see this is blurred now, and then now it's sharp. Okay. That's by twisting the lens at the front of the video camera here. And the next thing you need to do is work the menu, and the back of these cameras have this, can you see those little arrows? If you press and hold the middle arrow, you can see on my screen there that it says title, sense, ALC or electric, BLC, AGC, white balance, sync, option, zoom, off. So you need to go to sense up, so you move down arrow here, it'll go to sense up, and that tells you how many frames it'll take before it does a picture. So I can make this sense. The picture should go lighter with the sense up. This is so that you can take pictures of deep sky objects, and then you go on to ALC or electric. So you can choose electric. That's electric there. Backlight compensation on. Auto gain on. White balance manual. You can auto white balance. You try different experiments with these settings to see which one's the best for you, and then to exit. Go down to exit and then press the middle button and you exit out of it. And this camera is now stacking frames before it actually displays it on my camera here with the sense up working. By the way, the screen only flickers because of the camera taking a picture at so many frames per second. It's not flickering when you look at your actual camera, when you look at your TV lens here. So if you turn to my TV lens here, you'll see that it's flickering, but it's not flickering to the human eye. Basically it. So welcome to the world of CCD video astronomy.